Networking concept. The concept of networking is wide, but we can define it as the interconnection of two or more networks in different places. Computer network, in the simplest sense, networking means connecting computers so that they can share files, printers, applications, and other computer-related resources. In computing, a shared resource or network share is a computer resource made available from one host to other hosts on a computer network. It is a device or piece of information on a computer that can be remotely accessed from another computer transparently as if it were a resource in the local machine. The most frequently used shared network environment objects are files, data, multimedia, and hardware resources like printers, fax machines, and scanners. Next is the reliability. A file can have copies on 2 or 3 different machines. So, if one of them is unavailable, hardware crash, the other copies could be used. For military banking, air reservation, and many other applicants, it is one of the great importance. In computer networking, a reliable protocol is a communication protocol that notifies the sender whether or not the delivery of data to intended recipients was successful. Reliability is synonym for assurance, which is the term used by the ITU and APM forum. The importance of a reliable network structure is that you need a design network that can streamline your business processes and improve efficiencies across operations and service channels. Cost factor. Personal computers have better price-performance ratio than microcomputers. It is better to have PCs, one per user, with data stored on one shared file server machine. They have 10 factors that influence the cost of making your product. Example, material. Raw material. If you ask for plastic, your manufacturer will counter by asking what type and what grade. Number 2, overhead and margin. 3, packaging. 4, freight. 5, tooling. 6, cost of quality. 7, third-party compliance. And the last one is volume discounts. Communication medium refers to the physical channel through which data is sent and received. Data is sent in the form of voltage level which make up the digital signal. A digital signal consists of OS and 1S. Essentially, A1 corresponds to a high voltage while A0 corresponds to a low voltage. Example of a communication medium are phone calls, text messages, emails, video, radio, and social media. Evolution of networking. In 1969, U.S. Department of Defense sponsored a project named ARPANET, or Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. The goal of the project was to connect various universities and U.S. defense. In mid-80s, National Science Foundation created a new high-capacity network called NSFNet, which was more powerful than ARPANET. And then, in 1990, the Internet came into picture. Interspace. Interspace is a client-server software program that allows multiple users to communicate online with real-time audio, video, and text chat that use in dynamic 3D environments. Interspace provides the most advanced form of communication available on the Internet today, and also elementary terminology of networks. Number 1 is the nodes, or workstations. This term nodes refer to the computers that are attached to a network and are seeking to share the resources of the network. Of course, if there were no nodes, also called workstation, there would be no network at all. Let's define what is non-dedicated servers to dedicated servers. First is the non-dedicated servers. On small networks, a workstation that can double up as a server is known as non-dedicated server, since it is not completely dedicated to the cost of serving. Such servers can facilitate the resource sharing among workstations on a proportionately smaller scale, since one computer works as a workstation as well as server. It is slower and requires more memory. The small networks using such a server are known as peer-to-peer networks. Next is the dedicated servers. On bigger network installation, there is a computer reserved for servers job, and its only job is to help workstation access data, software and hardware resources. It does not double up as a workstation. Such a server is known as dedicated server. The network using such a server are also known as master-slave networks. On a network, they may be several servers that allow workstations to share specific resources, like for example, file server, printer server, and modem server. Number 3 is the Network Interface Unit, or NIU. A network interface unit is an interpreter that helps establish communication between the server and workstations. And also, the NIU is called Terminal Access Point, or TAP. Number 4, MAC address. The MAC address refers to the physical address assigned by NIC manufacturer. OSI Reference Model. The Open System Interconnection, or it's called OSI model, is a reference tool for understanding data communications between any two network systems. It also divides the communication process into 7 layers. The 3 lowest layers focus on passing traffic through the network to end system, while the top 4 layers come into play in the end system to complete the process. Number 1 is the layer 1, or physical layer. The physical layer is concerned with transmitting raw bits over a communication channel. It also deals with mechanical, electrical, and timing interfaces. Number 2, or the layer 2, is called data link layer. The main function of the data link layer is to take a raw transmission facility and transform it into a line that appears free of transmission errors in the network layer. Number 3, or the layer 3, or it's called network layer. The network layer is concerned with controlling the operation of the subnet. The main function is determining how packets are routed from source to destination. Number 4 is the layer 4, transport layer. The basic function of the transport layer is to accept data from the above session layer, split it up into smaller units if needed, pass this to the network layer, and ensure that the pieces all arrive correctly at the other end. Layer 5, session layer. The session layer allows users on different machines to establish sessions between them. It includes dialog control, taken management, and synchronization. Layer 6, presentation layer. The presentation layer is concerned with the syntax and semantics of the information transmitted, concerned with moving bits around the layer. Layer 7, application layer. The application layer contains a variety of protocols that are commonly needed by the user. For example, HTTP, which is the basis for the World Wide Web to access web pages, and IP data. It also encompasses the function of physical and data link layer of OSI reference model. Layer 2, or the Internet layer. The Internet Protocol IP is the primary protocol at this layer, while the Layer 4 of application layer is include the OSI session, presentation, and application layers. An application is any process that occurs above the transport layer. Network protocol. A protocol is a set of rules and procedures that determine how a computer system receives and transmits data. HTTP protocol, or the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, it provides a standard for web browsers and servers to communicate. The HTTP is an application layer network protocol built on top of the TCP. HTTP clients, web browsers, and servers communicate via HTTP, request and response messages. FTP protocol, or File Transfer Protocol, is a standard Internet protocol for transmitting files between computers on the Internet. FTP is an application protocol that uses the Internet's TCP/IP protocol. It also commonly used to download programs and other files to your computer from other devices. Like for example, when you have a document and you already download it. SMTP protocol, or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, used in sending and receiving email. It is limited in its ability to CAD messages as the receiving end. It is usually used with one of two other protocols such as POP3 or IMAP. SLEEP, or Serial Line Internet Protocol, was the first protocol for relaying the IP packets over dial-up lines. It defines an encapsulation mechanism, but little else. There is no support for dynamic address assignment, link testing, or multiplexing different protocols over a single link. While PPP, or point-to-point protocol, is the standard for transmission of IP packets over serial lines. The PPP is currently the best solution for dial-up internet connections, including ISDN. PPP is a layered protocol starting with a link control protocol, or LCP, for link establishment, configuration, and testing. It also supports both synchronized and asynchronous lines. Types of network. A computer network means a group of network components. Computers are linked by means of a communication system. There are three types of network. First is the local area network, or LAN. The second is the wide area network, WAN. And the third is the metropolitan area network, or MAN. When I say local area network, or LAN, it is privately owned small networks that are confined to a localized area. The key purpose of LAN is to serve its users in resource sharing. The hardware as well as software sources are shared through LANs. LAN user can share data, information program, printers, hard disks, modems, and etc. LAN is also configuration consists of a file server, stores all of the software that controls the network as well as the software that can be shared by the computers attached to the network. A workstation computer connected to the file server. When it comes to metropolitan area network, or MAN, is the network spread over a city. It is typically covers an area of between 5 and 50 kilometers. The purpose of MAN is also the sharing of hardware and software resources among its users. Like for example, cable TV networks that are spread over a city can be termed as metropolitan area networks. While the wide area network, or WAN, scan network spreads across countries are known as WANs. It is a group of computers that are separated by a large distance and tied together. The largest one in existence in the Internet. It also can even be a group of LAN that are spread across several locations and connected and together to look like one big LAN. The WANs link computers to facilitate fast and efficient exchange of information at lesser cost and higher speeds. Let's differentiate the local area network to wide area network. When it comes to local area network, The diameter of it are not more than a few kilometers, while in one span entire country. LAN is a total data rate of at least several Mbps, while in one, the data rate is less compared to LAN. Completely ownership by a single organization, while in one, owned by multiple organizations. In LAN, it is very low error rates, while in one, it is comparatively high error rates. Network topologies. Network topologies refers to the arrangement of computers and other devices in a network. There are more need for topologies networks are cost, flexibility, and reliability. There are more network topologies can be classified as follows. First is the bus topology, second is star topology, 3 is the ring topology, 4 is mesh topology, and 5, the hybrid topology. Let's first define what is bus topology. It consists of main run of cable with a terminator at each end. All nodes, file server, workstation, and peripherals are connected to the linear cable. In the bus network topology, every workstation is connected to a main cable called the bus. Therefore, in effect, each workstation is directly connected to every other workstation in the network. The next one is the star topology. In this type of topology, all the computers are connected to a single hub or a switch through a cable. This hub is the central node and all other nodes are connected to the central node. Let's define what is the advantages and disadvantages of a star topology. First is the advantages of a star topology. It is easy to install and wire. No disruptions to the network when connecting or removing devices. And also, it is easy to detect faults. While in disadvantages, it requires more cable length than linear topology. If the hub switch or concentrator fails, nodes attached are disabled. More expensive than linear bus topologies because of the cost of the hubs, etc. Ring topology. All computers are connected by a cable that loops in a ring or circle. A ring topology is a circle that has no start and no end. Each node connected to two neighboring computers. Data accepted from one node transmitted to another. And also data travels in one direction from the node to node around the ring. Signal amplified at each node before being passed. The advantages of ring topology is short cable length, no wiring closet space required, suitable for optical fibers, and lastly, each client has equal access to resources. While in disadvantages, the node failure causes network failure, difficult to diagnose faults, and also network reconfiguration is difficult. Tree topology. A tree topology combines the characteristic of linear bus and star topologies. It consists of group of star configured workstation connected to a linear bus backbone cable. The tree network topology uses two or more star networks connected together. The central computers of the star networks are connected to a main bus. Thus, a tree network is a bus network of star networks, best suited for application having hierarchical flow of data and control. The advantages of tree topology is a point-to-point writing for individual segment. It also supported by several hardware and software vendors. Network can be easily extended, while the disadvantages of tree topology is use large cable length. If the backbone line breaks, the entire segment goes down. More difficult to configure and wire than other topologies. Mesh topology. When it comes to mesh topologies, each node is connected to two or more than two nodes. It is a point-to-point connection to other nodes or devices. Traffic is carried by only between two devices or nodes to which it is connected. This topology is robust, provides security and privacy, which is good. And all overall cost of this network is too high. Data communication terminologies. The information data carry from one end to another in the network by channel. Twisted pair is the ordinary copper wire that connects home and business computers to the telephone company to reduce crosstalk or electromagnetic induction between pairs of wires. Two insulated copper wires are twisted around each other. Each connection on twisted pair requires both wires. What are the two types of twisted pair cable? There are two main types of twisted pair cables, unshielded twisted pair or UTP and shielded twisted pair STP, which contains each pair of wires within an aluminum for shield for further isolation. What are the advantages and disadvantages of twisted pair? When it comes to advantages, easy to install, flexible, and it is very expensive. And disadvantages of it is data transmission rate are very low. It is incapable to carry a signal over long distance without the use of repeaters, and low bandwidth.
Microwave. Microwave transmission is line of sight transmission. The transmitting station must have visual contact with you, the receiving station. This limits the distance between stations, depending on local geography. Microwaves work at high operating frequencies of 3 to 10 GHz. As a result, large amount of data can be transported due to their large bandwidth. Satellite communication. A satellite consists of transponders, unit that receives on one frequency and transmit on another, which are in geostationary orbits directly above the equator. Satellite communication is a special case of the microwave relay system. These geostationary orbits are 22,000 and 36,000 km from the surface of the Earth. The uplink is the sender of data to satellite. The downlink is the receiver of data. And another one is uplinks and downlinks are also called Earth stations because they are on Earth. In addition to microwaves, radio waves and satellites, two other unguided media are enjoying great popularity. These are infrared and laser waves. Infrared. This type of transmission use infrared lights to send data. And also you can see the use of this type of transmission in everyday life, such as TV remote, controls, car repair shops, door wireless, loudspeaker, etc. Use infrared as a transmission medium. The infrared light transmits data through the air and can spread throughout the room, like bouncing off surface, but does not penetrate walls. Another one is infrared transmission has become popular in PDAs or personal digital assistants or enforced in the handheld device such as palm, flats, or etc. Also, infrared transmission is considered secure. Lasers. Lasers transmission requires a direct line of sight. It is unidirectional like microwaves but has much higher speed than microwaves. Laser transmission requires the use of a laser transmitter and a light-sensitive receiver. Laser transmission is a point-to-point transmissions, typically between buildings. The disadvantage of it is it can be affected by the weather. Switching techniques. Switching techniques are used to transfer data over networks. There are three types of switching. Circuit switching, massage switching, and packet switching. Doon tayo dun sa circuit switching. With this technique, the complete physical connection between two computers is first established and then data is transferred from the source computer to the destination computer. That is when a computer makes a phone call, the equipment in the phone switches system is looking for a physical copper path from the sender phone to the receiver phone. The important property of this switching technology is that establishes an end-to-end path connection between computers before data can be sent. Message switching. With this technique, the source computers send data or the message to the exchange, which stores the data in its buffer. It then searches for a pre-connection to another exchange and then sends the data to this exchange. This process continues until the data is delivered to the target computers. And it is also known as store and forward. First, store in exchange, forward later, one jump at once. And lastly is packet switching. Packet switching can be viewed as an option that attempts to combine the benefit of circuit and switching and minimize the disadvantage of both. Packet switching breaks a message into smaller pieces called packets. A fixed packet size is specified that can be transmitted over the network. The communication modes. The way in which data is transferred from one place to another is called data transfer mode. It is also called data communication mode. It indicates the direction of information flow. Sometimes, data transfer modes are also referred to as directional modes. These are the different types of data transmission modes are as follows. Simplex mode, half-duplex mode, and full duplex mode. Simplex mode. In simplex mode, data can only follow in one direction. In this mode, a transmitter can only transmit and not receive data. Likewise, a recipient can only receive but not send data. Data sent from the computer to the printer is an example of simplex mode. Another one in simplex mode, it is not possible to confirm successful data transfer. And it is also not possible to ask the sender to resend information. This mode is not widely used. Half-duplex mode. In half-duplex mode, data can flow in both directions, but only in one direction at a time. In this mode, data is sent and received alternately. It's like a one-lane bridge where coming traffic has to give way in order to cross the other. Surfing the internet is an example of half-duplex mode. The user sends a request to a web server for a web page. It means that information flows from the user's computer to the web server. This web server receives the request and sends the data of the requested page. Data flows from the web server to the user's computer. A user can request or receive data from a web page at the same time. So, what full duplex mode is? In full duplex mode, data can flow in both directions at the same time. It is the fastest directional mode of data communication. And the telephone communication system is an example of a full duplex communication mode. And two people can talk at the same time. Network devices. Modem is a short for modulation and demodulation. And a modem is an add-on for computers that enables communication and connection with other devices via telephone lines, computers. Modulation, a modem converts your computer digital data from digital to analog, a format that can go over telephone lines. Demodulation, the receiving modem converts the analog stream back to digital after receiving the call information that a computer can process. At the sending end, the modem modulates the signal and the receiving end. These are the two types of modems. Internal modems, the permanently installed modems inside of the computer, while the external modems that are external to the computer, externally attached as other computer. Peripherals are linked. RJ45, registered jack 45, sometimes known as RJ45, is an 8-wire connector. Is frequently used to link computers on local areas networks, such as LANs, particularly Ethernets. An RJ45 connector is the industry standard for unshielded twisted pair cable. Network card. The Ethernet-enabled computers must install our software before using a unique device known as an Ethernet card. Xerox Corporation Association created the LANs architecture with Intel and DEC. It uses a bus or star with 10 Mbps data transfer rates. Casual or twisted pair cable connection can be found on an Ethernet card or both. If the cable is intended to be used, the connection will be DNC. If it is intended for insisted pair, an RJ45 connector will be present. Hub. A hub is a piece of hardware used to link together with many computers. A concentrator is a gadget that gives workstation wires a central connection point, servers, and accessories. Twisted pair wire is connected from each workstation to a central concentrator in a star architecture. Hub types include active hubs. As the signal travels from one link to a device another, it is electrically amplified. Active concentrators are used and repeaters to increase a network's range. Passive hubs. It enables a signal to move unchanged from one computer to another. Switch. The switch is a communication device that is categorized as a part of a computer network. This switch has more sophisticated capabilities built into than hubs. The switch directly connects the source and destinations, boosting network speed. Repeater. For long-distance transmission, a repeater is a network device that amplifies and restores signals. It is also utilized in long network connection that go above the related distance limit for a single run. The bridge. A bridge is a network device that connects two local networks in an intelligent way with cables of various types but the same standard. The router. A router functions similarly to a bridge but can support many protocols. A router is a networking device that divides distinct network segments to improve performance and reliability. Gateway. A system piece of software or hardware with internet working capabilities is referred to as a gateway ability to join a different network. It is a network code that grants access to another network. It carries out protocol and data translations that are appropriate for use with different networks. For example, Ethernet communication from the LAN must be converted to SNA or System Networks Architecture. SNA or traffic is subsequently forwarded to mainframe. When mainframe responds, the opposite process happens. Gateway can be put into use on either hardware, software, or a mix of the two. And also, gateway refers to the fact that just the data format, not the actual data, gets translated. Mobile and wireless computing. The term wireless describes a technique of exchanging data between two computing devices, like as a data source without a personal data assistant, or PDA, such as a server hosting an agency database physical association. Wireless communication. Simply put, wireless communication is data communication that doesn't include landlines. This could involve a satellite, two-way radio, fixed wireless, call phone, or laser communication. Mobile computing refers to the use of a computer that is not permanently connected to a base location central system. Such as smartphones, laptop computers, and PDAs are examples of mobile devices. GSM. GSM is a short for Global System for Mobile Communication, which is one of the leading digital cellular system. The GSM standard for digital cell phone was established in Europe in the mid-1908. GSM uses narrowband TDMA, which allows 8 simultaneous calls on the same radio frequency. TDMA is a short for Time Division Multiple Access, a technology for delivering digital wireless service using time division on multiplexing, or TDM. SIM card, the SIM, or Subscriber Identify Module, is a chip card the size of a first-class postage stamp. A SIM is a computer chip that gives a cellular device its unique phone number. It has memory 16 to 64 KB, processor, and the ability to interact with the user. CDMA. CDMA is a short for Code Division Multiple Access, a digital cellular technology that uses spread spectrum techniques. CDMA is a form of spread spectrum, which simply means that data is sent in small pieces over a number of the discrete frequencies available for use at any time in the specified range. Wheel. Wireless in local loop. It is meant to serve subscriber at homes or office. In real service, the telephone provided is expected to be as good as wired phone. Its voice quality must be high. A subscriber carrying out long conversation must not be irritated with quality. One must be able to use speaker phones, cordless phone, and parallel phones. GPRS. GPRS stands for General Packet Radio Service. GPRS is used for wireless communication using a mobile device. With the service, you can access the internet, send emails and large data, download games and watch movies. Edge. The new Edge Air interface has been developed specifically to meet the bandwidth needs of 3G. Enhanced data rates for global evolution or Edge is a radio-based high-speed mobile data standard. It allows data transmission speed of 364 kbps. Edge was formerly called GSM 384, or this means a maximum bit rate of 48 kbps per time slot. Edge is considered as intermediate step in the evolution of 3G. The G in wireless networks refers to the generation of the underlying wireless networks technology. Application in networks. SMS. SMS stands for Short Message Service. SMS is the transmission of short text message to and from a mobile phone, fax machine, or IP address. Message must be no longer than some fixed number of alphanumeric characters and contain no image or graphics. Email or electronic mail. Email is sending and receiving message by computer. The advantage is low cost. Electronic mail is an extremely cost-effective way to move information around, especially when it must be moved quickly. And the other one is speed electronic. Speed electronic mail can be delivered almost as fast as the wire can carry it. Voicemail. The voicemail refers to email system that supports audio. Users can leave spoken message for one another and listen to the message by executing the appropriate command in the email system. Chat. Chatting is the most fantastic thing on internet. Chatting is like a text phone. In telephonic conversation, you say something, people hear it and respond, and you hear their responses on the spot and can reply instantly. Video conferencing. A two-way video phone conversation among multiple participation is called video conferencing. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a short wireless fidelity, which lets you connect to the internet without a direct line from your PC to the ISP. For Wi-Fi to work, you need a broadband internet connection, a wireless router, which relays your internet connection from the wall or to the PC, a laptop or desktop with a wireless internet card or external wireless adapter. Another one is Wi-Fi hotspot. A hotspot is a venue that offers Wi-Fi access. The public can use a laptop, Wi-Fi phone, or other suitable portable devices to access the hotspot. Are public locations with free or free-based wireless internet access. WMAX. WMAX is a wireless digital communication system. It can provide broadband wireless access up to 30 miles for fixed station and 3 to 10 miles for mobile station. WMAX requires a tower called WMAX base station, similar to cell phone tower, which is connected to the internet using a standard wire high-speed connection. Virus. Virus is a vital information resources under siege. A computer virus is a computer program that can replicate itself and spread from one computer to another. Depend on the nature of a virus. It may cause damage of your hard disk contents. Android interfere with the normal operation of your computer. These are the characteristics of a computer virus. It is able to replicate, reduce memory disk space, modification of data, files overwritten or damaged. Type of virus. File infection. Infect executable files or attach themselves to a program file and create duplicate files. Boot sector virus. install themselves on the beginning tracks of the hard drive or the massive boot record. Macrovirus. Infect data files like spreadsheets or database of several software package or network virus. Email or any data transfer files to spread themselves on the network. Trojan horse. A Trojan horse is a code hidden in a program such as a game, a spreadsheet that looks safe to run but has hidden side effects. Worm. A worm is a program designed to replicate. The program may perform any variety of additional tasks as well. How do computer virus spread? It moves from computer to computer by attaching itself to files or boot records of disk. A virus travels from file to another on the same computer. If the infected file executed from computer memory to a file on the disk, a disk that is carried from one computer to another. Network security consists of the provision and policies adopted by a network administrator to prevent and monitor unauthorized access, misuse, modification of a computer network and network accessible resources. The problem encountered under the network security are: number 1 is physical security. When individuals gain unauthorized physical access to a computer and tamper with files. Number 2 is software security holes. When badly written programs or privileged software are compromised into doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Number 3 is inconsistent usage holes. When a system administrator assembles a combination of hardware and software such as the system is seriously flawed from a security point of view. Protection methods. The number 1 is authorization. Authorization is performed by asking the users a legal login ID, and if the user is able to provide a legal login ID, he or she is considered an authorized user. Number 2 is authentication. Authentication, also learned as password protection, as the authorized user is asked to provide a valid ID, and if he or she is able to do this, he/she considered to be an authentic user. Number 3, encryption or smart cards. Conversion of the form of data from one form to another form. An encrypted smart card is a handheld smart card that can generate a token that a computer system can recognize every time a new and different token is generated, which even through card or hacked cannot be used later. Number 4 is geometric system. It involves unique aspect of a person's body such as fingerprints, patterns, or etc. to establish his or her identity. Number 5 is firewall. A system designated to prevent unauthorized access to do or form a private network is called a firewall. It can be implemented in both hardware and software or combination or both. There are several types of firewall techniques. The first one is packet fiber. Accept or rejects of packet based on user-defined rules. Application gateway. Security mechanism to specific application like FTP and Telnet servers. Next one is circuit level gateway. Apply security mechanism when a connection is established. Next one is proxy server, or intercepts all message entering and leaving the network. Cookies. Cookies are messages that a web server transmits to a web browser so that the web server can keep track of the user's activity on a specific website. Cookies have the parameters name, value, expiration date. Hackers and crackers. Hackers are more interested in gaining knowledge about computer system and possibly using this knowledge for playful pranks. Crackers are the malicious programmers who break into secure systems. Cyber law. It is a generic term which refers to all legal and regulatory aspects of Internet and the World Wide Web, or WWW. India's IT Act. In India, the cyber laws are contained in the IT ACT or 2000, aims to provide legal infrastructure for e-commerce in India by governing transaction through Internet and other electronic mediums.